might not be bad. Let's dive right into boxing. It'd be good. It's going to be tough to be really uplifting this show. You know what I mean? There's just so much turmoil in the world. I think people would like a little bit of a reprieve from the fighting, today, because everyone's out there fighting about gun control and abortion and left and right and Ukraine and Russia and fucking, at some point it just becomes overwhelming. You're just like, hey, let's just take a little break.
You get sick of hearing that. I mean, it just grinds on you. It's unhealthy, really.
Very unhealthy.
And what happens is, whether you want to admit it or not, all the bullshit, for your own well-being, you detach from it, and you can say what you're supposed to say. But I mean, if you really dive into what happened with that over in Texas, I don't allow myself to see my kids' faces, because that's where my mind goes. The joy that
everybody does. It becomes kind of a parent's worst nightmare. I mean,
it is, and you're looking at kids being slaughtered.
Well, I talked about trying to keep it upbeat, and you're already on kids being fucking slaughtered. You're not doing a good job of upbeat.
All right,
let me change. And then there's the limbs are blown off.
So you're looking at kids you're looking at kids getting slaughtered, and there's a relief that it's not your kid.
Here's kind of the overview I have on this. Politicians are just salivating to make this a political thing. There's not a single problem that these hyena won't come out with their predetermined messages to say this is what the solution is. In the meantime, the solution is always give us more power. In the meantime, you've had, unlimited power and never done shit with it. As a matter of fact, we've been down this road so many times with the school shootings. You all could have solved it with armed security guards at the schools at a minimum a long time ago. And instead, you just gave $40 billion to Ukraine. You were giving $40 billion a year to Afghanistan. You just gave the Taliban, our mortal enemies, machine guns, advanced helicopters, advanced artillery that can shoot carrier jets out of the fucking sky. So you're going to arm people that want to kill us with weapons of real war, while telling U.S. citizens, based on a predetermined notion, that they can't have things to defend themselves from these monsters that exist, for which the government has been unable to defend us or our children against forever. So give us more power and we'll continue to fail worse on a more miserable scale. This kid actually posted that he was going to kill his grandmother, then posted that he did kill his grandmother, then posted he was going to go shoot kids. And this is all over social media. None of the social media companies were alerted authorities. The authorities didn't do anything. This incredible network of we're going to watch out for hate speech failed miserably. And he went and actually did it. And, no one was there to stop him. We didn't learn anything from Sandy Hook. All the recommendations for Sandy Hook were ignored because we, quote, didn't have the funding, and were specifically shot down by Elizabeth Warren and her crew, saying we don't want to do it. They don't want to solve the problem. They want more carnage.
Of course not.
Because the carnage is helpful to them politically. And now they can stay and stand up and pretend they care about children after literally fighting in court to go kill children up to the time that they're actually born and beyond. They're fighting. Once they're actually alive right now, they have a big baby food crisis going on, for which they've known about for months. The government caused it by shutting down the largest baby food manufacturer, for health reasons, knew that there was going to be a crisis, did jack shit about it, sent the baby food down to the border to help with illegals. Fuck you, American babies that are now sitting here starving. And they knew it was coming, did nothing to solve it. But these are the people that care, that are going to solve the problem with your kids' health and safety. These are the same people that just shut down the entire country for years, fucking over everybody's lives,
But
fucking over the economy.
trust us on this one.
But trust us on this one. Yeah. We can go back further. We can go to Vietnam. We can go to fucking Iraq, the Gulf War. We can go to, what happened with 9/11 and using that as a pretense to invade all these different countries, including Afghanistan. We saw how wonderfully that turned out. To
Right.
the lies that have taken us into Syria with the fake sarin gassing, the lies where we're arming jihadists, to the organization of the Arab Spring, which was lies, to the organization of Ukraine, which is a lot of lies. We're now supposed to believe these people now that they have, our best interest in mind. And as they hover like witches above the bodies of dead kids to make these very emotional people, because it's very emotional with children. You start to think, holy shit, children. These are the same people opening the border where there's 105,000 plus overdoses last year, record. Mostly fentanyl, mostly young people. It's like 300 and some people a day. And they don't give a fuck about that. There's human trafficking coming across the border. They don't give a fuck about that. There's horrible cases of murder, people drowning in the Rio Grande. Don't give a fuck about that. You want to know why the news hasn't told people to care about that? Those children don't matter. The 300,000 children aborted each year, they don't matter because they're not real children. These children, if they were aborted, would be being celebrated by the same people that are now lecturing on gun rights. That would be like, wow, what a powerful decision you just had to abort these children. But a few years later, if it can usher in more power and control, all of a sudden this is a good thing. And the solution, you can ask anybody, they all say the same thing. Something needs to be done. Something. Okay, something. Well, what? Okay, so your solution is not to the problem itself. The solution is we're going to try the weapons ban that we had for over 20 years that showed no statistical difference in deaths at all. Didn't do anything. We're going to take away rights from law-abiding people, which automatically favors the people that don't obey the laws. So the only people that obey laws are law-abiding. They're like, we need universal background check. Well, there is. You can't buy a gun anywhere in this country unless it's from a private person that you don't have to take a background check. You have to. People don't seem to know that because the news doesn't tell them that. If your dad gives you a gun, you don't need a background check. What they want to do is criminalize the father giving the gun to the son or a private dealer selling a gun, to somebody that they know. And that means that you have to become a registered gun dealer. You have to pay for your background checks. It basically impedes and criminalizes millions of people that would otherwise be law-abiding. Would that stop a murderer? Well, let's pursue that for a second. This is a person who's decided to go kill as many people as possible, and you're expecting the argument to be that they're going to be thwarted from killing all these people by the worst punishment you can get, death, because of a background check issue. No, the only people it'll stop are law-abiding people. It'll criminalize law-abiding people. It'll give the government more power, the government that's failed, or we wouldn't even be having this conversation. In the meantime, it's a mental health crisis. Like the whole thing is a mental health crisis. Nobody talks about mental health. They don't even bring it up. They're like, hey, mental health. Most of these shooters, I think the number is 43, I believe, have been on antidepressants, mass shooters, which are the big farm companies that happen to run the news companies. So we're not going to talk about this.
I want that to stop.
Correlation,
You don't want that to stop.
Well, even so, let's say you don't want it to stop. How about a system where you can follow up with everybody who's taking these problem drugs that cause?
What about what you just said? Okay,
I said a lot of words.
I'm sorry. In the first thing you said is flagging. He wrote this stuff on Facebook. One time I told my brother I was going to punch him in the mouth. And within 10 seconds, I was, flagged, and they sent me a thing that's inappropriate. How the fuck, if he wrote something on Facebook or whatever, I don't know the other ones, how did that not get flagged? Shouldn't we?
I don't know their process, but I do know that I just got flagged on Facebook for sharing a segment of the manifesto that was from the Buffalo shooter. So I actually copied and pasted his
Yeah.
words, and I got flagged for being, a violent threat for sharing somebody else's quotes. These are quotes.
Right.
He was interviewing himself.
Right.
And so that's the world. So they clearly have a process that's
And,
failed.
and this guy wrote, I killed my grandmother, or I'm gonna kill my
He said,
grandmother.
I'm going to kill my grandmother. The next quote, the next message is, I killed my grandmother. And the next message is, I'm going to go to an elementary school and kill kids, kill children, I believe is the quote, whatever, something like that. Kids, children.
And nobody said, hey, let's go into action.
Don't know what the action was, but what I do know is the action didn't work. And at the end of the day, there was one person who got this person. It was a DHS agent. This was not a department. I'm sorry, not. It was a Border Patrol agent. Armed Border Patrol agent, responding on his own, went in and took the person out. So an armed good guy again took out the armed bad guy, which is pretty much what happens in 99% of the time.
I mean, no matter what his job title is, at that time he was a pedestrian.
I don't think he was on an official mission, to your point. So I don't consider. Yeah, he was not. It's been confirmed, although who knows? This was not.
How many good? I
an
mean,
immigrant situation.
there's your good guy with a gun.
Yeah, there's always a good guy with a gun. So rather than disarming good people with guns and leaving all the high-powered shit to the bad people, how about we, here's the part that drives me crazy too. So children are in 98% of these shootings are in gun-free zones. Joe Biden was the one who put gun-free zones together. He was the guy who actually pushed that legislation. So 98% basically put a target on all the kids' backs. There was a meme about this, but it's so true. Our banks, our celebrities, our politicians, our federal buildings, everything we care about that's valuable is protected by men with guns. You see very little episodes. Our children, we put a sign that says there's no guns here, and shocking, the absolutely pathetic weakling cowards go towards the weakest target and use that as a way to say, I'm going to inflict damage. And here's the other part, right? So that's
the guard dog is off tonight. When do you think you're gonna get robbed?
Got to put the guard dog back. And then the part, we shouldn't know any of these fuckers' names. The other people that are to blame here, other than Farm,
that's hard.
Is you have to have the media stop reporting in their names. They turn these people into celebrities.
How do you do it? I don't know how you
don't say their names. You just don't say their names. You don't post their pictures. You don't say their names. You don't get so deep into it. You don't turn them into celebrities. You can't. The last two shooters have both expressed an idealization of previous shooters. So they're studying the previous shooters, learning from them, trying to get better from it. They're actually looking at their hero status as a good thing. And it's creating more shooters. And the government knows this. They just locked these fucking kids in their houses for 2 years and said, you can't talk to your friends. You can't go hang out with them. You're not going to school. You're going to become dumber. You're not going to be in class. We're going to jack up the anxiety level to fucking 10. Your family's costs are going up. Everything's ratcheted up. If you go outside, you'll die. I wonder how much mental illness you'll have. And there's stats that show for every 1% increase in gas and oil prices, you get a 5% jump in mental health claims where people go to the loony bin for help. So you were seeing massive, they know this is leading to mental health. They aren't saying anything about it. But if you pay attention, there's a hell of a lot more commercials about schizophrenia on TV now. All of a sudden, there's just schizophrenia commercials every fucking 5 minutes after 9 p.m. All of a sudden. So
it's ridiculous. Yeah.
So nobody's talking about the real solutions. The real solutions are real easy. Armed guards start really doing a follow-up program with people that are on these antidepressants. You're not going to get Big Pharma to say, we're not going to prescribe it. It's not going to happen. But you can put together a follow-up program to say, hey, how you doing? Are you having any of these symptoms? And follow up consistently to see if the people are having some of these, delusions that lead to these shootings, and have a method to deal with it. That's reasonable to do. Have the news stop fucking publishing this nonsense that's out there as people as heroes, making everybody super fucking famous that does stupid shit. And then finally, actually prosecute people that commit crimes. So in all over the United States right now, people are committing crimes and they're back out on the street. There was a Wall Street guy shot in New York the other day. No words. No, it wasn't like a confrontation. He just randomly shot, killed somebody. The Wall Street guy. It was he had been arrested 17 times, and including a murder charge in 2017. Out on the street. That's happening in cities all over the country from the same assholes right now that are on their soapbox pretending that they care about you so that you'll give them more power.
No doubt.
It's fucking disgusting. So they're doing nothing to protect your children in the real world. Open borders, fentanyl, sending money. By the way, the war that these assholes are actually supporting in Ukraine is estimated to kill over 100 million people from famine. It's already displaced over 100 million people from the areas that they're in. So you're talking about human trafficking, massive issues, destruction, death. Americans are like, yeah, we support that shit. 40 billion.
Hey, maybe it's population control, maybe.
It is, but you got to put all this stuff together. You got to, because it's not in a vacuum. They're pretending that this is in a vacuum. These are the same people that are destroying a fucking world economy, gas prices, wheat, everything else, taking our money to do it, going to starve tons of Africans. People here at home will have food shortages, baby food shortages. These are the same people that are telling you, give us more power.
We're having them.
Safer. You got to be out of your mind. Huh?
It's already starting. You know, you got these affluent areas around here that half the shelves are empty.
Yeah, no, here too. Even on Amazon, you can go on Amazon and try to find, different items.
Amazon just called me with a recorded message that said somebody tried to buy a thing on my credit card. That's bullshit, right?
Probably, yeah. They'd send you a message. That's just a scam. If you call back, they'll say, "What's your credit card number? We need to validate it." And all of a sudden you're being scammed. Yeah, they don't call you for that shit. They'll text you or email you, and even the email's usually phishing and bullshitting you. You have to go into your account officially and see your notifications in order not to be scammed. And you're going to see more scams now too, because they're looking for ways to make money.
You're going to see more theft from the grocery stores and shit. People just can't make it, and they're going to do what it takes to eat.
Yeah, it's getting that way. I mean, even in my house, I've planted so much shit, man. I got plantain trees out there. They're starting to grow. Orange, multi-fruit, passion fruit.
Look at your Mexican ass.
Yeah, no, I'm flat Mexican back there. I'm flat running around planting everything I fucking can. I mean, you can call me, like I said, the Irish are the Mexicans of the world. Just if the Irish were selling weed instead of potatoes, they'd be Mexican.
I'm telling you, they called heads. It was tails.
It's the same thing. Yeah, just white, hardworking people that grind and grit. One of them ended up in a cold climate, and the other one ended up in a warm climate. Same shit. And the Mexicans have better party. Both of them have great parties, but Mexicans have better hats.
Better food.
They do have better. Irish people have terrible fucking food. Just the worst. I mean, I've never heard the word out of anybody go, "Hey, do you want to go out for Irish food tonight?"
Yeah, let's get some Irish food. Oh, it's just all just vain constructing fucking shit. You know,
I make a hell of a shepherd's pie though. I mean, I crush the shepherd's pie. Yeah, it's no bullshit. Because it's if you come, I'll torture you with it. Like
right on.
Yeah. So let's talk. I mean, we're not going to solve the world's problems. There's a lot of people right now that probably are listening to this going, can't you just stop the kid? We've heard enough. We're not going to solve this stuff.
I'm one of them.
Yeah. We just started off by saying let's not do it, and then
let's not do it.
Immediately.
What do you know about cancer?
Depends on what type of cancer. But here's what I do know about cancer. No cancer can live in an alkalized environment. So that's the most important thing to know about cancer. So if you believe somebody you know and love has cancer, you want to alkalize the bloodstream as quickly as possible, and the easiest way to do that is, high dose vitamin C, intravenous, NAD, NAC, things like that. There's a bunch. It's other people that do that.
I thought Mike Sawyer was selling some of that bullshit at one time.
Yeah, the water, the Kangen water. I have a fucking $5,000 water machine in there that I never use, thanks to Mike Sawyer. Takes up all. It literally sits in there just collecting fucking dust. And he's always like, "Why don't you use it?" I go, "Because it's fucking stupid. It's water. Like, it's just a water machine." Matter of fact, it's a water machine that turns your water like cloudy. And if you have a bottle, because it ionizes everything, it doesn't instill much confidence when your bottle starts to develop a white film throughout it, like with crystals and shit. Like, it's not fucking water. Like, I don't know what they're doing to this to fuck up the water, but that's
I used his.
Oh yeah, no, me too.
He stored his fucking machine in my place, and I wouldn't give it back to him for months. It didn't do no good. It taught me that shit. I don't know that water shit.
It's water.
It doesn't make a difference. It's fucking water.
What it does do is, if you pay $5,000 for a water machine, it forces you to drink more water. And if you drink more water, you'll be healthier as a result of drinking more water. So if it costs you $5,000 as a constant, reminder,
it's an investment.
Whatever, but it makes you drink. I mean, I'd love to. It's the greatest thing ever. If anyone wants to buy mine in the room next door, I'll cut you a deal. It's the best. But no, it's. I've got so much of that fucking shit.
Boxing Brawlers purchase code.
Yeah, purchase code BNB coming up. So we've actually got the Tank Davis fight this weekend, Jimmy.
I can't go against him.
Well, here's the. I mean, it's a pay-per-view, and you know how I feel about the pay-per-views. Why does boxing do that? You should really only do pay-per-views if you've got like a multi-belt card, or if it's the heavyweights, with the big boys. But
no, I mean, a big fight is a big fight. I could see.
This ain't a big fight, dude. This is not a big fight like that. You do even.
I could see something like Bivol and Canelo being pay-per-view. I don't have a problem with that.
Would you pay for it?
No.
I wouldn't pay for this. No, neither would I. That's why it's stupid. And Canelo, to his credit, did not do that to himself. But you probably don't even know who the fuck is being geared up as Tank Davis's second. And I'm not trying to call you out, but you probably don't have a clue, because it doesn't matter. It's not a big fight. That's the whole point.
Oh, you mean the co-feature?
Yeah. No, I'm talking who is Gervonta Davis fighting? Exactly. It's Rolando Romero. It's not. I'm not trying to set you. It's just my point.
No.
It's not a big fight. You know what I mean? For a pay-per-view fight, as a big boxing fan, that would just be instant. You would have had it on your radar. If this were Ray Leonard versus Hagler, you would have had it on your radar for 3 months. You would have known when it was signed. You would have known the weekend, and paying for it would have been a no-brainer, because it would have been an event.
If you got to pay, that's a boxing after dark at best.
It's a good. Hey, this is a really cool card for a Saturday night, free on DAZN. By the way, DAZN's a pay-per-view. We pay $10 a month for that shit. But that's not a paper, and it's going to fail on pay-per-view. The numbers are going to come in terrible, especially because people are actually struggling right now. They have less money to spend on all these fucking pay-per-views. You can only do that so often. These promoters have got to change their business model. I think they were getting away from the networks to try to get, harness their power, get a couple lightning.
We talked about that a while back, and I think there has to be some goodwill established between the promoters and the fans. And I think you want to build these guys up, but you want to get them fan bases early. And the way you do that is Tuesday night fights, Friday night fights, whatever you're going to put on.
Yeah, it allows
And
them to get to know these fighters that are coming up. You get to see them in tough fights. You get to see them
right,
in moments of glory in 4 rounders KO somebody, and you're like, wow, that was a hell of a KO. Then when they come on next time, you start to build that relationship. After you see them win 4 fights, you now feel you know that fighter.
you
You're
know
like,
that fighter, and you were with him from the beginning.
from the beginning, and now you're willing to, maybe in another 5 or 6 fights when he gets that shot, you're willing to pay for that.
If if
Pay-per-view
if I heard my father say it once, I've heard him say it 100 times. I saw Larry Holmes 10 times fight on undercards.
Yeah, yeah, and
Just
Larry Holmes
and
is one of the biggest legendary.
yeah,
Larry Holmes is only underrated because he beat Muhammad Ali. That's the only reason he didn't get the credit he deserved. He beat a legend, and the only way for him to be loved would have been to lose to that legend. But he beat the
I
legend,
don't
and people fucking hated him for it.
I don't think so.
I know.
I disagree with that.
Well, what do you disagree with? That clearly happened to him. He was fucking hated for beating Ali.
But I don't think he's underrated for that.
No, but he was disliked for it. So he never got the fan. I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand. If you dislike somebody, you shit on them. If you like them, you're on board with them. He
I mean,
kind of.
how do you dislike anybody for that? Rocky Marciano knocked out Joe Louis.
It was just, again, Joe Louis is like an Ali character, but I think with Joe Louis, though, he came in an era where there were so many racist white people, legitimately, like not like today where they complain about it, but there were so many people that were willing to jump on the white card in spite of what Joe Louis had done for the United States. Keep in mind, in spite of what he'd done for the United States, nobody was doing shit for him.
Right.
He was impoverished and fucked up, and his life was horrible. Should have been a hero that people took care of. The world wasn't like that back then. And but when you're fast forward to Ali and Larry Holmes, there's no skin color issue there. It's just a guy beating a legend. There was no, hey, we're going to jump on the white train, and ride that train as far as it goes. That was rough. Beating Ali was like the worst thing that ever happened to Holmes, in a way. I mean, do you disagree?
Yeah.
What do you think? What's your take on it?
I think it happens over and over and over again. The passing of the torch.
Yeah, that's just a big torch to pass. These bigger than life. For example, beating Tyson wasn't like that because there were enough people that were looking for the beast to go down. Buster Douglas upset was monumental, and everyone was excited about it in a way, except for the people who bet on Tyson. Those people weren't so excited about it. They were very pissed because I think Tyson was like a 40-1 favorite in that fight or something ridiculous like that.
Oh, you're talking about Douglas. Yeah.
With a Tyson
39-1. 39-1.
39-1. Yeah. Meaning you have to put 39 grand on Tyson to win $1,000. And if you lose $39,000. So for the non-gamblers out there, that's the way it works. So there were some pissed off gamblers that night,
You bet on Tyson, you deserve to lose with those odds. That's stupid.
Yeah, if you see those odds ever, you take the underdog from a boxing perspective, even if you're like, I'm sure my guy's going to win, because the other guy has two hands. There's always a freaking shot that you're going to watch some thunder come out of nowhere and win that fight. So back to the card though. So and again, I always say this, I'm like, I'm not going to get this fucking fight, and I know Saturday night's going to come around, and I'm going to be like a crackhead, like, oh.
You made me look like a dick because I don't know the fighter.
No, it's not my point is neither. I had to look it up, dude.
No, I know what you're saying.
I had to look it up. I was like literally
nothing grabs you about that.
No, I looked at it before. I still couldn't remember who it was. I was like, I know it's somebody with a Mexican name. The Mexican fighters should all change their names. They all have the same fucking name. They all have the same Chavez, Perez, Corrales. At point, it all runs Lopez. How many Lopez's can you have? I mean, Teofimo has a badass first name, but everybody else, Lopez. It's Lopez. Is Lopez at this weight? It's Lopez. I mean, how the fuck are you supposed to keep track of that shit? It's impossible.
There's only one Duran.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but he's again Panamanian. But all right, so that's the fight. Yeah, I mean, let me see. Wilfredo Benito. So the fight that I was excited about is the Wilfredo fight. Let me see here. Still trying to find the. Oh, there it is. So on the undercard, you have Eslanda Lara versus Gary Spike O'Sullivan. It's a 12-rounder for the
54.
WBA regular middleweight title. I don't know either of those fighters. I don't.
Yeah, Lara's good. He was an Olympian and everything. If it's the same guy.
Yeah, it's Lara's WB regular middleweight title. So Lara's the champ at that. I haven't watched him fight though. I don't think. If I did, I forgot.
He's long and slick.
Okay. And then you've got
good fighter.
Jesus Ramos versus Luke Santamaria in a 10-rounder of junior middleweights. So they've just put together, a card at that point. I'd be excited to watch some of the younger fighters.
I love to watch it, but I'm not going to pay for it. That's where you see great fights with guys you don't even know who they are, but it's a coin flip. You got to have that main event to bring you in.
I like what the UFC does. They free card. What's on ESPN Plus? So there's pay-per-view money, but free card. Probably 7 out of 8 are free cards. And even if you don't have ESPN Plus, the first half of the undercards are free on ESPN. So you can watch the undercard fights and then say, "Oh, I'm going to subscribe to you." They use it as a lure. And then every 2 months, they put on a major event that often has 2 belts on the line, or just as a stacked fucking card, and that'll be in Vegas or some other place. And
greed is blinding. Greed is blinding. They're just so greedy in boxing,
It was disjointed too. I almost feel like our boy, the raccoon, might have been pushed out for being too good at negotiating some of these things. May just not be the most pleasant person to deal with, but I feel like he understands it in the real world and is better at actually saying, "Look, go fuck yourself. I'm not going to pay you that much money because I have to put together a full card." Whereas a lot of these promoters want that first name locked in and don't give a shit about what's on the card other than that first name.
Right.
So, so that's coming up this weekend. And then after that, boxing really starts to heat up from here on. There's some good fights coming up, but we'll get to them one at a time as they happen. What's happening in your world? Anything you want to talk about?
Oh no, man. We went to the Preakness. I had the big winner. Won $108.
Would you put like $10 on it or something like that?
Yeah, it's $10. No, but yeah.
It was 11-1.
Yeah, I had $30 on it, $10 across the board, or $30 across the board. So that's 10 win, place, show.
Horse racing, betting on horse racing is not as easy as looking at the horse and being like, "That's a good looking horse." It just doesn't work that way. Yeah.
I can't even start to figure it out. They look at the track, they look at the history. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't. My grandfather was apparently pretty decent at that. I have no skills at it. I thought I had skills, so I went out I got sucked in the first race. I won completely.
That's the worst thing that can happen.
And then I'm like, God, I have a gift for this. I have like a horse whisperer thing. I looked at the horses. I was like, I knew that horse. So I started thinking that I could do it. And then I quickly realized that after losing 11 straight after that it was luck the first time.
It's a phenomenon. It's a phenomenon. The first time a guy goes into a horse track, the horse races, or a casino or anything like that, he fucking wins, and it fucks it up for the rest of the time. That's all it takes to hook you. You know.
You see it a lot of craps tables. Every time you're at a craps table, somebody's here, new roller, throw
New
it
roll.
down.
Yep.
It's a bizarre superstition.
They have no idea how you don't win. You do not win over time.
By the way, I think I'm playing your gangster guy in the background. Did you hear this shit?
Please do.
Hey, Jimmy Durante.
Yeah, a little gangster. I mean,
we got some Christmas music on.
I don't know how that came on, but I heard his gangster ass Christmas voice, and you just know he shot people.
Or had him shot.
Yeah, you just know it. He's got that voice. Like I was listening to this is probably a Patrick thing too, but a lot of these old mobsters are getting out of jail now.
It's weird.
They're all out. They all the crimes they committed in the 70s, 80s, 90s. These guys are now rolling out of prison and going back into the suburbs of New York and resetting.
How weird is that? How weird is that?
I mean, I in ways, here's the weird part. They're so respectful of certain things that it actually makes neighborhoods better. Like, I mean,
yeah, but are they, when you're up in age like that, where do they go? Where do they go? Do they take any kind of position or what? Or is it just honorary?
Well, they're not really enforcing laws in New York anymore. So I think there's a big resurgence in mafia behavior. And I think the FBI is now targeting parents that are talking at school board meetings. So they're very busy. So I think the mob is making a big resurgence right now. I think the mob's trending up. A lot of these guys have been in there for so long, they weren't the rats anyway, or else they would have been out a long time ago. So these are but at the same token, the world's changed a lot. Can you imagine being in prison, for 30 years and coming out and seeing what the hell's happening now? They must be like, what the fuck did I walk into? Yeah. Everybody's disrespectful. It's just different.
It's another planet.
You're going to have some poor kid that's going to come over and try to break into their car at night and steal their change and be like, it's a bad idea, kid. This is just a different generation. You don't do that. But again, back in the day, everyone knew, don't mess with that guy's house. They're going to have to sort of reestablish that reputation. It's going to be interesting to watch. I don't know if we'll be able to actually see it here, but the story's already starting to trickle out a little bit here, a little there. We'll see. We'll see if we hear it, but
that'll be interesting.
Watch them come in and be like the neighborhood watch, and the whole neighborhood becomes better and safer as a result of it.
Beautiful.
What's the latest with your fight, man?
I don't know. I'm talking some shit on the internet, and not getting much reaction from old hillbilly over there.
So you become Mike Sawyer, and he's just,
yeah.
Do you think he's just not into it? I mean,
no. I think he's scared.
Do you really? Well, I mean, 50 years old, man. I mean,
no, he's not scared. No, I think he's just hadn't gotten around to it yet.
I mean, it's a commitment. You got to get your ass back in the gym. You got to fucking start working.
Yeah.
I mean, and at 50, I saw it was a great quote. Did you see the Jermaine O'Neal quote?
No.
So he was looking to sign with the Miami Heat, and the Heat offered him a contract, and he goes, he goes, I decided when I was in my pantry that this wasn't for me. And they're like, what are you talking about? He goes, well, the Heat have this body fat thing, like you can't have over 9% body fat. And I went into the pantry, and those Oreos started looking at me. I started looking at me. And he goes, I'm over 30 years old. I can't do this shit. And he just ate the Oreos. He's like, fuck that. So he quit that's the Miami Heat team that had LeBron and Wade, that won the championships. He ditched that whole idea over Oreos and said, fuck it, I'm too old for this shit. And I thought that was hilarious because it was a great admission, of how it happened. And a couple championship rings, but I mean, at some point,
That's a guy. That's a guy that loves himself and puts himself first.
well, he wasn't like that on the basketball court. I think he was one of those guys that's all in or all out,
Yeah,
and
seems like it.
and at 30 plus years old, at some point you've got enough money and you're like, can I be all in anymore? Can I do this anymore? Or do I want to eat those Oreos?
Yeah, well, just like we talked with Canelo. When you have the world at your fingertips, it's hard to stay hungry.
Do you give a shit about that GGG trilogy, the Triple G trilogy with him? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't give a fuck.
I do, because I want to see his reaction. I want to see if it was 100% just the weight, if he comes back sharp, or if you see a little bit of what you saw against Bivol. He's just seemed a step slower.
He didn't seem like the same guy. So when I say don't give a shit, I'm going to watch it and I'm going to be excited to watch it. So I'm just saying it's not the hyped up fight that would get me excited. It's just sort of like, fuck it, I'll turn it on. It's not.
It's an informational fight about two very good fighters that are starting to get, or that are up in age.
Getting long in the tooth.
Yep.
Yeah, right now, Triple G looks sharper.
Well, he's had less fights, but Canelo, I mean, I don't know how many wars he's really been in.
Canelo? Yeah.
Canelo.
I think Triple G's were his only wars.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, Mayweather took him to task, but that wasn't really a war. That was just a boxing clinic.
No, that was, that didn't put any miles on him.
Yeah, there was no blood, guts, none of that. Bivol, same thing, just outboxed. But those were, like a good sparring session with somebody who's way better than you.
No, Bivol, I think, I could see that doing a little damage, because I think as great a Bivol, I mean, not on purpose, I think Bivol demoralized it. He didn't have an answer. He didn't have an answer for anything that Bivol did. Bivol did whatever he wanted, anytime he wanted. And that's demoralizing. He was completely dominated.
You could tell he's demoralized by the fact that he decided to pass up on the rematch. He did say.
Would you say he even won a round?
I think he won 3, and the third was a toss up. You and I were watching the beginning. He actually looked like the first couple rounds he was starting to land body shots and get in there.
Yeah.
And it all, it was not. Those rounds were close, but he did win 2 rounds early, and then it just was a landslide. It was a boxing clinic. So we'll see, but he doesn't want any part of Bivol until after he regroups, and then the team is saying, yeah, we want him back, but I'm going, you just got your ass kicked. Like, what are you doing going back? It wasn't even close. Maybe you whitewash that. There's certain guys that just have your number. It might be just he has your number.
But back to having everybody at your fingertips. Maybe you want some excitement. Maybe this is what it'll take to get him up.
That's true.
Is he gonna be up for Triple G?
Who knows? I mean, obviously he likes fighting. Maybe that's his jazz. He still seems to like it. Otherwise, he wouldn't keep accepting these fights. It's not like he doesn't. It's not like he needs the money. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars at this point.
You do things you don't like, or you do things that don't blow up your skirt until you decide not to. Maybe he just hadn't decided not to. But I haven't seen a lot of fire in him last couple of fights.
Yeah, not to the degree that you would hope, or that you would see as a younger, hungry guy. Yeah, I think. So you chose. Let me see. This is my mother. I'm gonna send you to voicemail, Mom. I got to get her. Later. But you chose Johnny Boy for the undercard fight.
No, I want to get a fight for both of them. What's perfect is Warren. He's got a son, same age. He's 147. Johnny's 140. It's perfect.
You're going to have Johnny just go up a little bit, or is it going to be a catch weight fight?
It's an exhibition.
Exhibition.
It's work. It's work.
Yeah, so you're just going to have him going at whatever weight they are and just
yeah.
Yeah.
And his kid is slick and can box, and my kid's a banger, and it'll might make for a good fight.
Have you seen his kid fight?
Yeah, he sent me some videos of him.
Good. He's got some skills.
Yeah, he's got some skills. He's got a lot of hang-ups, but that's what you got when you're 19 years old.
Yeah. You went to a boxing gym the other day. You seemed really, really excited about. Tell us about
I was just so excited to be in that atmosphere. Nothing, it's so pure. If you can fight, your respect is earned by how you can fight. And that's how everything should be.
The beauty of any of that sort of stuff is you can't be fake at all. I mean, in the real world, you could walk around and overestimate your ability at any number of things, and you can get away with it. In a boxing gym, you can't do that. If you overestimate your abilities, you're going to get knocked the fuck out.
Right. It's exactly right. And what better tool to teach somebody how to kind of navigate in their life?
Yeah, it's true. It's that humility. You better be very self-aware. And if you aren't, then somebody will make sure that you are self-aware.
Right.
And it's always nice to see. It's actually fun. That's one of the fun of the boxing gyms, is watching people come in that aren't self-aware, that think that they're great fighters or that they can step into a brand new sport because they
happens all the time.
In street fights. And
I used to be the guy that they would throw up into the ring with, because it would only, because it was in Palmer Park, which is all black, and so usually it would be a black guy that came in, and they would be like, "Man, we'll let you go with the white boy," and so he'd be, "Man, I'll whoop that white boy's ass," and they'd throw him. He wouldn't know who I was, and I'd beat the shit out of him, and they'd laugh him out of the gym.
So did anybody come back?
I'm sure they did.
Nobody that you remember that actually came back after an ass.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It into a career. Yeah, it's pretty rare to do that. It's pretty rare to get laughed out of a gym and be like, "I'm back. Let's do it again."
You're a bad motherfucker if you do that.
even if you just got fucked up, I'm back. Let's keep going.
Where's that white boy at today?
Yeah, where's he at? Put him back in the ring. I think I thought about how I can get to him this time. I saw a hole. He puts his left hand down. Sure,
it was so funny because there was half a dozen fighters that knew what the joke was, and they would just play into it so well. Yo, get that white boy. Hey, yo, white boy, you have a box? I'd be like, no. And
you were Woody Harrelson in White Man Can't Jump, but in real life.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a movie, by the way. You should write that up, because that you could literally just take the entire White Man Can't Jump framework, turn it into a boxing movie.
I was the ringer.
Fuck, you were the white ringer just to knock people out off the streets. That's funny as fuck. Are you still friends with any of those guys that were in on that joke with you, or those were just gym friends?
Just gym friends, pretty much. I'm trying to think how many of them guys are dead. 3 of them are dead, but you see them all. I think one was getting cancer treatments at like Sibley or something like that, and somebody walked up behind and blew his brains out. That was a guy named.
That's very kind of that person to do that. Just
to
keep him from suffering.
His name was Ratman. Ruben Bell, and he was a pretty good pro fighter. And he got sick and had to go. He was going back and forth to the hospital. Somebody gunned him down.
At a fucking cancer treatment. I mean, that's unbelievable. First of all, you know you're a tough motherfucker if your nickname's Rat Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ruben Bell.
And did people actually, when they introduced him, did they do the whole Batman thing? No, 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 Rat Man. Or did they just be like, yo, that's Rat Man right there? They didn't take it to that level.
I think they just called him Rat Man.
You know that Batman's gay now. Did you know that?
Is Batman gay?
Yeah, Batman's coming out as gay. Superman's gay. You know about Superman being gay now, right?
Superman's been gay.
Superman's been gay, but I mean, I don't know how that. See, Batman, you know, Robin, you know, dressed up in tights makes perfect sense. Superman tights, but with Superman, I mean, how's he gonna find a super asshole to be able to bang out? Like, what is it? They gotta line somebody's asshole with kryptonite? I mean, he's gonna blow a load through the person's fucking skull.
You can't control it.
No, he's Superman. He can't get.
Well, how's he do it? How's he do it normally with a woman?
Oh, I don't know that he ever. I don't know that he ever has, but I'm sure that, you know,
Lois Lane, he had to.
he banged out Lois Lane.
I think so. Wouldn't you? I mean, that you don't stay friends that long, and not one night you guys bang.
Well, he was out shopping and stuff with her. He was super gay the whole time. But now, you know, he's got to find a guy that can take his super cock, which is really fucking weird. Like, how are you going to work that in? You know, the guy can do everything in the world, fly around, make time go backwards, but he can just randomly just bang a dude's asshole. The guy's going to be fine. Like, he's not just going to be asshole destroy. Everybody he'd bang would be dead. Like, there's no way an asshole could survive that.
I was thinking about this exact subject the other night.
Yes.
And you are a fucking weirdo.
Well, I mean, even if the dude's like jerking him off and he shoots the super load, it's gonna like kill a neighbor or something like that. You know, it's gonna
damage.
Yeah, it's gonna shoot through the wall. You know, either way, that's the whole. Does he just super snuggle because he can't just get off or also kill people or shoot a load and take a building down? I mean, at some point you got to ask these questions.
Hey, maybe he is Superman because he hasn't had sex.
That you might, maybe you're right. Maybe he's just, you know, in touch with his emotions and sensitive.
Maybe one release turns him into a normal guy.
Maybe he gives super hand jobs or super blow jobs.
He's never had an orgasm.
With one puff, just make sure a whole, you know, you got the best orgasm you've ever had. He's like an Asian that worked Bill Belichick.
I don't know. It'll definitely be a super orgasm.
You might be right though. Maybe he's super celibate. Maybe he's just like in touch with his emotions and really nice. You know, I mean,
women weaken legs.
And now you've got Batman, who's going to be, you know, coming out as gay. But you know what's I mean, Aquaman is the most obvious queer superhero, right? Aquaman was gay when I was a kid. I didn't want to play with Aquaman fucking characters as a kid.
I'll be honest, I never fucking heard of Aquaman until the MoMA played him.
To the movie.
Yeah,
Aquaman was a cartoon, but he was sort of like a, you know, not a mainstream one. I mean, Space Ghost was a bigger cartoon than Aquaman as a kid.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, exactly. So like not a big one. Were you around for the Slee Stacks?
No.
You don't know the Slee Stacks? That's not a cartoon, but that's from Land of the Lost. So they
shit. Okay, I did like the Land of the Lost.
Yeah, Land of the Lost had the Slee Stacks. So they were the little lizard creatures that would come out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember it all played right after wrestling. Land of the Lost, and I forget what the other one was, but
occasionally Captain Space Ghost would be on there. So the thing
it was on Captain 20 actually, DC 20, right?
Oh, I can't
remember Captain 20. You don't remember Captain 20?
No. I mean, so I got disenfranchised. I was 11 when I got 10 or 11 when I realized that wrestling was quote unquote fake. And you know, I was like, all right, shit. It was a tough pill to swallow. I sort of moved into the MTV era pretty quickly after that, and stopped watching wrestling until I.
How good was MTV?
Again, you talk about bringing things back. You could bring back Land of the Lost with a Slee Stacks, but make the Slee Stacks, instead of lizards, make them gay lizards. And it would just be the best show on TV. They just cunt you down, and if they got you, your ass was theirs. Like legitimately, you were fucked. If the
I can see that. You should write a treatment for that.
I think it would be picked up by Netflix in a second. They'd be all over that shit. They'd be like, so the Slee Stacks rape everybody? Yes, they rape everybody that does that. Every single one. We gotta have this. How much do you want?
Kind of like the Democrats.
The women and children can go, but yeah, right. Well, maybe the men, if they get a little older, they're allowed to go, but the young ones, we watch the fuck out. The ones are going down. At first, they get trapped and they get shown LGBTQ language, so they learn all the acronyms. And then after they've established that,
so the Slee Stacks can talk?
No. They can just, but they can walk you through an infomercial, I guess. I don't know. They can kind of do their own thing. Figure out.
I can see that.
How to groom you for the Tyrannosaurus.
I do not fucking remember the Slee Stacks.
Yeah,
remember Fraggle Rock?
Oh, of course. I actually almost brought it up after the Slee Stack. I was going to ask you about Fraggle Rock. It was
beautiful.
I was not a big fan of Fraggle Rock, but because it was on, I think it was HBO. Jimmy's Gone. Let me put on John Gary's favorite fucking song. It's a terrible fucking song. This is a great song because she can sing her fucking tits off. I don't even know if she has tits, but I assume she does. But Linda Ronstadt's voice is just ridiculous.
Like this, don't it feel like me now? Might never be again.
So Fraggle Rock is the shit, but you know what show was my favorite from that era? A little bit after. Do you remember Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Yes, I do.
That
never got into it.
Oh my god, it was so.
I love the premise. I love the idea.
It was a little bit I'll say it's a little hit or miss because they had different writers for different seasons, and I can't remember which seasons are the good ones or bad ones. Sometimes I watch it and I'm like, oh, this is awful, and then I put on the season with the right people and I'm like, this is fucking hysterical. So it was literally that black or white as far as how good the writing was, but when it was on, it was so fucking funny. And that's actually something we could do, something like that on this. We could actually pull up shitty movies or shitty clips and just make sarcastic comments.
I would love that.
It's cool. We could do that as part of the adjunct of the as an homage to Mystery Science Theater, but without
should do that.
Yeah, we should. We need to put together a collection. Offline, we'll put together a collection, and any listeners that have the worst movies they've ever seen in their entire lives, start to compile, and maybe we could just do scenes. We don't have to sit through the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
Like the worst acted scenes ever. Start to compile a list of the worst shit you've ever seen, and let's just watch it fresh and just make sarcastic comments.
I'm in.
Childish, sarcastic comments. That's perfect for us. So you got anything else you want to chat about? I'm gonna go. My wife's been outnumbered. These little fucking bastards have been.
Oh, what about your boy?
Which one?
The wrestler.
I've got many men. Oh, that one. No, he has work. He's actually like a pretty high level banker. So he's definitely coming on tonight. Couldn't happen. It was too early for him.
Okay.
But we'll grab him.
Yeah, I was looking forward to talking to him.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of give him a. We'll call him Bruce. They call me Bruce. Have you watched that movie? They Call Me Bruce.
Fucking love it. I haven't seen it in 30 years.
It still holds. It still stands the test of time.
I gotta watch it. I gotta
It's-
watch it.
It's as good now as it's actually. I'll say this: it's better now than it was when you watched it 30 years ago. Because back then, there was
Really?
there was a lot of funny shit back then. You know, it kind of fell into the pack of funny shit. Now it stands out because it's so over the top and hilarious. Just keep in mind during the opening credits when they're playing Oriental Boy, it's about 4 minutes of an Asian kid running through a field, so you can become a little bit like, what the fuck am I watching? Is they're going Oriental Boy, look out, go go go, and you're just watching a kid run through the field and going, this movie's gotta suck. I mean, it's just gotta be terrible. Like, it's literally the longest opening credits ever, and then he goes and sees his grandfather, and from that moment on, movie's perfect.
I forgot what the fuck we were talking about.
We're talking about bad movies, but this actually brings up a good movie.
No, I know what we're talking about, but I forgot the movie you said.
They Call Me Bruce.
Oh, They Call Me Bruce. Yeah, yeah.
You remember what it's about, right? It's about the Asian guy that's
Not really. I just remember the Asian guy, and I remember him talking about getting hit by a Toyota. Oh, what a feeling!
what a feeling.
Yeah.
Yes. I once got hit by, again, that reference, you wouldn't most people wouldn't have a fucking clue what that meant. You have to be of age to actually
What about Super Fuzz?
great. Again, Super Fuzz was a great fucking movie. I love
Great movie. I saw it in the movie theater, Buckingham Theaters.
I had my brother watch Super Fuzz. I told him it was one of my favorite cinematographic movies I've ever seen. The detail that they went in to make that movie, every scene is meticulous. Like, the people who put that together were fucking amazing at detail.
Because the guy in the paper, he seems like a real Bruce Lee. Hey, man, I don't care what the papers say. You're still Brucey. What are you looking at, Brucey? You're nothing but jive, man. I can kick your ass any day of the week.
Kick my ass any day? Well, I'm busy all week.
Yeah, you're a phony, man. You don't even know Kung Fu. Get back. What do you say to this, fool?
If you must fight, fight dirty. Kick him in the groin. Hit him with a rock. Fire off his nose. But most of all, use your brain, not fist. Well, you're fantastic. Who taught you that?
Master Cho.
Oh, what a coincidence. I studied under Master Cho too. Did you know the martial art code? It says pupils study on the same master must never fight.
Yeah? For real, huh?
Yeah. Now it's too bad. I can't beat you up.
What code?
Maybe he's right.
Let's forget about it.
Yeah? I don't study for Master Cho. I study for Master Tongue.
Oh, that's great. Then you two can fight. And I personally think Master Cho is 10 times better than Master Tongue.
My master's better than Master Cho.
Hey, wait a minute. My master's not sure. What are you talking about? Master Tongue is a pussy.
There's so many great lessons in that movie. it's
God.
it's both pieces of wisdom and
I
comedy.
like to drink and punch people out.
Yeah. Oh, I like to drink and eat sushi.
Oh shit!
Sushi's
Yeah.
my girl.
Oh, you like
Kept
sushi? Like
Sushi's
that?
my girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Susie.
I had sushi last night. Oh. You should eat sushi in the morning, sushi in the evening, sushi for supper time. Then you wouldn't be so fat.
Hey, what's wrong with you, carnivore?
What's your name? Wong or Dong?
They call me Bruce.
Bruce? No, Bruce.
Again, none of these jokes would actually work now because that's too too over the top. You can't make fun of. Actually, you could still make fun of Asians, but if they made Bruce white, you could make it anything you want to happen.
That's early HBO.
Yeah, it is. It's back when HBO was really putting. I mean, HBO still puts out some fire. Game of Thrones was not pussy at all.
It's just not the same.
No, it's not the same. Nothing will ever be the same.
Fucking Poltergeist and all that shit, man. Those movies in the 80s, wow. E.T.
Poltergeist, E.T. was amazing. Poltergeist was amazing. Do you remember the line for Raiders of the Lost Ark? Did you see that in the theaters?
I saw that in a New York theater with my dad.
Line probably around the fucking corner for it, right?
No, there was nobody there. We went in, and it was the first movie theater I ever was at that went up the wall, like stadium seating.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
we were all.
You must not have seen it opening weekend then, because opening weekend there was like a mile line for that shit.
No, I don't know when. Like me and my dad used to go to movies randomly. He would just be, "Hey, let's go see that movie," and we were there.
You should take your dad to go see Top Gun this weekend, because that's going to be better in the theater than it would be on a home.
He doesn't care about that, but he wants to see Cry Macho or something.
Never heard of it.
It's a Clint Eastwood.
Okay. Yeah, your dad doesn't like Tom, whatever the fuck his name is.
I don't think so.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
I mean, Tom Cruise is a little weird, but he does his own stunts. It's kind of tough, but I get it. If you're your dad's age, you're looking at Tom Cruise going, yeah, that's not.
No, if you're my dad's age, you're looking at Gary Cooper. You want everybody to be John Wayne, Gary Cooper, those guys back then that you grew up with.
Yeah,
all these guys now are homos.
That's true. Everybody's a homo to people that are of that, literally of that generation. Pretty much everybody on the screen is going to look like a homo. It's
right.
just. Right. Can you think of a single male actor right now that wouldn't be a homo to your father's generation?
I mean, Jack Nicholson, but he's
so
he's
old.
way up there. Yeah.
You're a homo. I DJ'd for this.
Bruce Willis. He loves Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis has had an unfortunate situation medically, and he's out.
Yeah.
It's nice to see me rush to his aid like that. That's fucking. That's loyal.
Yeah, that's cool. I can't think of who he even likes. He loves is Kevin James. I never thought I would see that.
Kevin James is awesome. He watched King of Queens, right?
Yeah, he watches, and I never because nothing ever measured up to the Honeymooners, and he never misses that. I mean, they watch Raymond too. Raymond's good.
I don't like Ray. I just don't like Ray Romano at all.
Fucking love it.
I know it's everybody loves him. I'm like the one person that despises him, but he was actually. I just saw him in a movie. I was just watching The Irishman. He plays a bit role in The Irishman. Got through 30 minutes of it, but God damn it, you threw me off on something. I was just gonna actually ask. Oh, The Honeymooners. So the guy who's the lead character in The Honeymooners is
Jackie Gleason.
Jackie Gleason. Do you know what Jackie Gleason played? He played a professional pool player. In what movie?
Minnesota Fats.
Minnesota Fats. Fats Domino. Big deal. Minnesota Fats. He apparently is like basically a professional, or was basically a professional.
No doubt about it. Absolutely.
Yeah. He grew up in the halls of like New York hustling pool.
This fucking guy they said he used to walk around the block, a New York City block, on his hands.
Shut the fuck up. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why? Because he could.
Because he could.
Yeah.
He was also, I think he got his ass whipped. Maybe it was Rocky Graziano. Beat his ass or something because he was smart with him. I don't know, just super talented guy. That was a great show.
And well, that particular performance was odd because it wasn't a comedic performance at all. It was mostly him playing pool.
It was great. He played a retarded guy too.
Did he get any accolades for the retard role?
I don't know, but what the fuck was it? Was it like Iget or something? I gotta look on IMDb, but no, he can do it all. That guy was a
I've been
pure
playing a
entertainer.
retard for 48 years. I have zero accolades for it.
He was a hell of an entertainer.
He really
But
was.
I love the parents from Ray Romano. It's so the woman is the
Parents are great.
MVP. She's the best. She's the MVP of that show. The mom.
My wine went down the wrong hole. I feel like Kamala Harris right now. It's terrible.
Did you hear Kamala Harris explaining buses to us, school buses?
Yes, they're big and yellow, and you clap for them. Yeah.
They're one of what are they? They're the biggest mass transit in America.
This is almost. It's I can't keep up, man. I'm trying.
Why was she fucking telling us that?
Oh, brother, I don't know. It's so bad. Like it's like she literally. I've been accused of being condescending in my life. I've been accused of that, and I own it. But I have never been, or even thought of, or broached this level of condescending, where everything that she's saying is so obvious that it's just, here you go. God damn it. Oh, I can't play it. It's gonna wait, I can play it. I can fucking figure this out. Kamala Harris. I try to do an imitation and it ends up being watered down in like a day because she does something stupider than I ever could have imagined within 24 hours. It's
You
like
can't believe you're watching. You can't believe you're watching.
It doesn't even seem real. These are the people in charge of our country. They're all over 80 except for her, or retarded. And that does include her. She's not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
It includes a lot of other ones too.
I am I mean, it's on both sides of the aisle. This is not a hold on a second. Let me refresh because I think it got.
What'd you think of the big speech last night?
Yellow
I didn't
school
watch it.
buses are our nation's largest form of mass transit. How about that? Every day. So yes, and let's applaud because they get somewhere they need to go.
Oh my God, she told people to applaud
And
for her.
every day, then think about this in terms of the numbers. Every day in our country, more than 25 million children ride to and from school on our nation's fleet of school buses. Because think about it, yellow school buses are our nation's largest form of mass transit.
Think about it.
That.
Think about that,
Every
Jimmy.
day. So yes, and let's applaud because they get somewhere they need to go. And every day, then think about this in terms of the numbers. Every day in our
day?
country, more than 25 million children ride to and from school on.
You know what's funny? I didn't even realize that it had started over because it's usually just the way she talks. I'm like, every day, 25 million. Think about it, Jimmy. 25 million. Do you know how many million that is? It's
Hey,
25.
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How come she made a statement before the president did on the shooting yesterday?
Ladies first, I guess.
Have you ever seen that?
Well, I mean, listen, we're seeing a lot of firsts as far as stupidity with this particular crew of incompetence. And, they love these shootings. They love them. Believe me, they love them. People out there going, they don't love them. They love you.
No doubt about it.
They love them. And the reason they love them and that they can actually point to other things to keep people's focus off of their failures so they can continue to fucking fail. And even these things are their failures. Biden created these gun-free school zones but now they can deflect and pretend that it's somebody else's fault that these failings took place. Every dead body that stacks up is a fantastic thing for these sick, twisted people. Don't get it twisted in your head to think that all these tears online or in these speeches or these sound bites have one legit bit of truth to them. They don't. And they've had opportunities to fix this stuff. Matter of fact, the 40 billion they sent to Ukraine would have been 400 and some $1,000 per school for security if they had wanted it that way. They didn't. And here we are. So no, they don't give one fuck about your kid. Don't be fooled for a second. And that's on both sides of the aisle. That's not one or the other. It's both. But people are falling for this. It's pretty remarkable how easily people are manipulated when they're scared. As soon as they get scared, we're like, here, take my asshole, take my purse, fuck my face, take my children, take it all, and make me safe. You know, it doesn't work that way, ladies and gentlemen.
So what do you think? What do you think is the end game here? Do you think there will be what? Excuse me.
I said, oh shit, this question, the end game question.
No, I mean, are we going to have to go to the mattresses?
Yeah. No, it's the end game's not going to be pretty, man. I mean, everything that's being done is being set up to divide into a big war. When your solution right now, think about the solution, is gun control. You know that's going to start killing in the country. You know, people are going to go nuts. You know, and that's not just a Republican thing too. Democrats too. You know, people are going to start shooting if that happens. So why are you playing that card? Like, why are you playing it right now? You know, I mean, with Roe versus Wade, you're pushing it down to the states. I understand that's a volatile card. It's legally, it's the right decision because the states can make the determination. It doesn't ban nor unban abortions. It just says, hey, states, figure it out. This particular issue, they're talking about going after law-abiding citizens. Where do you think the end game takes you there? Do you think the 18 kids is worth, a couple 100 million dead Americans or millions of dead Americans or whatever the case is? Well, the people in charge do. And that's not good to their judgment. They don't think about the repercussions, or they do think about the repercussions, and that's even worse because the repercussions are regular old people are going to stand up and be like, fuck this. I'm going to start shooting. And
I just haven't heard. Okay. I don't count the bullshit social media talk. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's not real.
And this would be horrific for everybody, by the way. Yeah.
That's not real. But how come, they said there was an insurrection? I think there's been stuff done and stuff proven now that would warrant people marching and rising up to resist.
Well, even the insurrection's total horseshit. Keep in mind,
Total horseshit.
In the actual Constitution is the right to a fast trial. The kid that just shot people in Buffalo, he already has a court date. The people that are in jail for trespassing from over a year and a half ago, basically, are still in jail without a court date, as the government says they still don't have enough time to get the evidence together. This is completely illegal. It's a political persecution. They won't reveal the evidence. They won't let the people talk to their attorneys in many cases. It's a complete gulag situation. And for those of you out there that are like, that's not really happening yet, as it all is. And they're still in jail. They don't even have a trial date yet for many of them. Couldn't be any more illegal than that. A lot of them are in there for trespassing for a year and a half of their lives. If the person was violent and other stuff, they may belong in jail in general, but give them a court date and prove it and then keep them in jail, But if they're just sitting there walking through ropes that police opened up for them, didn't steal anything, didn't break anything, didn't threaten anybody, that's not a crime. That's a public building, and they were allowed in by the cops. By the way, why did the cops allow them in? Why were the doors open? And why were there so many FBI agents there? Apparently, there's over 90 FBI agents that have been identified as having been there. It's been admitted now. So the FBI knew that they were in there. They were in there. They didn't send additional police to actually blockade off. And then the police that were there opened it up. Sounds like an entrapment operation to me. Just throwing it out there. It sounds like, yes, there were assholes, but there's a lot of people that were spurring it on. You know, Ray Epps and other people that.
So what you just
Sounds a
said,
little fucked up. Yeah.
take what you just said. What
This
you
is
just
all
said,
conspiracy theory. I'm not saying it. I read this on some alt-right, right?
what you just said,
Yeah.
to me, what I hear is 1 + 1 is 2. It's,
Yeah.
I mean,
much adds
it
up,
makes
right?
sense. Why can't this make sense? Is it just their hate for Donald Trump that?
Correct. Donald Trump is a hate laser pointer. It's not about a rational thought at that point. It doesn't matter that now it's proven that Hillary's behind, a lot of the hate that they were mad at him for. The Russian thing is Hillary.
I mean, they're
All that's
proving
fine.
it. They're
It's already
proving
good.
it.
It was testified in court to. Yeah. But you can take that. It doesn't matter that their hate was built up over a fake premise and that they liked him when he was, in a TV show guy, and they liked him their whole lives, and they liked him in Home Alone. They twisted him into a horrible person, manufactured that, and now they need to keep pumping these rats filled with the same pellets of shit so that they'll continue to hate. And the laser pointer of Donald Trump turns off all logical thought and turns their Pavlovian instincts on to not think and just agree that the news must be telling the truth. There's no thought from the time you say Donald Trump. It doesn't matter. Yeah, they're just trespassing. Well, they're involved with Trump. Well, then they deserve to die. They should be in. No, these are people that were literally led into a public building that were there for a variety of reasons. They're not Donald Trump. They're just regular citizens.
I see worse reaction. I see worse reaction at Trump's name than I do for Hitler's.
Well, it's been programmed, and they don't care. The people that are that pissed off. And by the way, my parents are like that. They don't care that all the evidence is coming out showing that their initial framework for why they hated him so much is now completely false. It doesn't mean new information will not sink in. It's already, the tree has taken root. It doesn't matter that the bottom soil is shit. The roots have now gone to a different level of soil, and they don't want to hear it, that it wasn't real, because it is, as Mark Twain so eloquently said, it's easier to fool a man than it is to convince him that he's been fooled. And, it's very difficult. I have no problem if I'm a fool, if I've been fooled, I have no problem being like, yeah, I fucked up. I got fooled.
I do it every time every time I pick a fight. I got to go back and say, fuck, I was wrong.
But again, that kind of comes from the fighting attitude a little bit. Like, you can't bullshit yourself and you can't bullshit society, because that if you're going to bullshit, you're going to get fucked up. It's there's no bluffing in the world that you and I grew up in. You got to be real about stuff. You can bluff and bullshit to a degree, but when push comes to shove, you got to keep it honest.
But they break the golden rule of, you can bullshit everybody, you can't bullshit yourself. They're brainwashing themselves into this.
At this point, a lot of the people that bought into the original bullshit will continue to go down the bullshit hole. And the way that the people that are manipulating them, because this is a psyop. I mean, these are professionals that have spent 70, 80 years figuring out how to fuck with people's heads. They just keep on bringing up more and more information. At some point, there's so much information out there, it's tough to process anything. And even when you find out that one part wasn't true, your brain is now focused on 1,000 different things. I mean, think about how much the regular human being's been through over the last couple of years, between, the Ukraine impeachment to COVID, coming in to, the vaccines, to the shutdowns, to 15 days to slow the spread, to everything in between, masks, and, it's just constant information coming in. We're scared, we're trying to hide. And then, what's real, what's not. I mean, people crack under that type of pressure, because how much time do people actually have to go, well, that's bullshit, that's bullshit, that's bullshit, and that's bullshit. And and well, maybe that's true, maybe that's not. I don't know. But
maybe they'll pivot a little bit and use this school shooting to make kids go back to remote learning.
no, because that takes the power out of their hands. That's not even going to be brought up. That'll happen naturally. I saw an article in California talking about people were shocked at how many kids weren't in school. It's happening naturally, and that's the worst thing that can happen to the statists is they want to make sure that they own your kids. So if you take that power back on your own, that's the best thing you can do to keep them safe. I'm not sending my kids into these fucking school systems. No, I'm gonna watch them, make sure they're safe, teach them stuff, make sure I know what's gonna happen when
You're
I'm
going to do that with your kids?
hell yeah. I'm not sending them into strangers and being like, here, I trust you with my most valuable possession.
It's too
Because
formative.
I know nothing about you and your 6 partners, nor the people that are in charge here. Nothing about your backgrounds or what type of porn you jerk off to.
You can't take you. I don't believe that. I think that high school forming experience is too valuable.
Well, no, I mean, once you get to that point, I'm with you. But at that point, they're, if you've done a good job, and at that point they've spent enough time with you, they're wise enough to be able to handle all that
But
horseshit.
people aren't going to do a good job. People are not going to do a good job.
But in elementary school, when the kids are believing in Santa and shit, they're a little bit too formative for that. I don't know. There's 2 types of people that gravitate towards kindergartner jobs: angels and devils. And you have to you have to hope that you get the right one. You're not in control over that. There's a lot of fucking weirdos that go, I want to work with kids, and then there's a lot of angels that go, I want to work with kids. And
Yeah.
I don't feel like playing craps like that, man. I'm an odds player. I don't feel like rolling the dice on my children's future with some stranger, because I don't trust people.
I agree.
So on that positive note, I think we brought so much light into everybody's life here to see. I hope we've solved all of life's problems.
We're going to go one more question.
What we got?
I mean, it might be already happened, but who do you see jumping ship? Because the rats will jump the ship. Who do you see jumping ship from the Democrats?
Nobody, because they already know what their plan is. It's to cause as much division, anger, hate, chaos, keep you focused on everything but the issues. So don't think about the issues, think about children. Don't think about the issues, think about the burning cities. Don't think about the issues, think about these people are racist. Don't look at the damage and destruction we've done. Think about everything but. So it's not going to be a jump ship. They're just going to keep lighting things on fire and having, people that are weak-minded chase after every fire and go after the thing of the day and lose perspective over the big picture of how poorly things are going. And the big bomb, the big ticker here is that you can't hide inflation. People go to the pump and they go to the grocery store, they see it, they feel it. That's not something they can bullshit people with. But they're blaming, they tried to blame it on Putin. They called it the Putin price hike, but it was happening before Putin. And now they're trying to blame it on Trump and saying that that it's Trump's fault that this happened because of the Chinese tariffs, which is also horseshit, because the prices would have gone up when he put the tariffs on a long time ago. And if anybody believes that, then they're stupid. Plus, the tariffs are a fixed margin. Tariffs can cause prices to go up, but you would have seen it, and you did see it slightly immediately, and it's a fixed margin. It wouldn't continue to go up. That's just basic economics. So the actual fixed margin's already been priced in a long time ago. Nobody even felt it. What we're seeing now has nothing to do with that Trump thing. It does actually have to do with a lot of the Trump debt spending, but they haven't been smart enough to explain that to people. It's Trump's debt spending under COVID and the Biden debt spending now. So that's legit, but it's all government spending. It's printing money. You can't print money. It's inflation. So yeah, that's a whole other lesson. That's more on our financial channel. In the meantime, let's come up with some shitty movies and let's actually have some fun. And
we'll start with Grease.
Grease is a fantastic movie. You don't like Grease?
I love Grease, but I think it would be fun to commentate.
It would. Let's find some real shitty ones. Let's
I got you. I'm on it.
all right, brother. Have a great night, mate. Send my mom your best. Send the family my best, and we'll catch up